Katie Flindall is an artist, illustrator, and writer based in Ontario. Her work is inspired by her own 4 children through journalistic documentation and observation, emphasizing the magic of spontaneous play and captured moments of living together. Katie and I talk about the children's book publishing industry, the intensity of parenting teenagers, and the joy of finding a creative community that feels like home. Hi, Katie. Thanks for being here with me today.
Hi, Shannon.
It's nice to pretend we just started talking instead of that we've been chatting for 10 minutes. Yeah, so obviously we've known each other for a while, but we don't get a lot of chance to talk about our stuff. And we're talking about our kids or about other, projects that are happening. So I'm excited to talk today about your art, especially after the panel we were on together a few months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I left that room thinking that I wanted to hear so much more about your perspective on being an artist in a small community, being a mom and an artist at the same time. And also I'm really curious about how people like you juggle all kinds of different types of artistry. So first of all, could you talk a little bit about the various ways that you are creative?
Oh my gosh.
That you make art.
Yeah. Well, the more I think about that, I feel like it just overlaps in so many ways. And the more I'm around, the more I feel like an artist I connect with that in so many areas of my life. So I'm a visual artist. So I do paintings and illustrations. And right now I'm really into writing and illustrating children's books. And that I've always wanted to do that, but I've really been pursuing that recently. So that's been really fun. I'm also a dancer. I'm trained classically in ballet, and I spent many, many, many years dancing. And following that, I was in a couple different small companies dancing in Vermont and here. And let's see, what else? Those are kind of the 2 main areas that I would say I'm an artist.
I'm going to say that was 3 areas, by the way, because the
Was
writing
it 3
too.
areas?
Yeah, the writing, I would call. Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's kind of a new thing too. So, yes.
Cool. Very cool. So can you tell us about that? I know you have a book project you're working on right now, your 4th children's book, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk about that? Are you allowed to talk about it?
Yeah. So it's the project is I have several ongoing projects. So a big thing that happened for me this year was that I got an agent, and it's her name is Lori. She's lovely. She lives in DC, and she's the head of Steelworks Literary. And so with her help, I've been developing this story that I've been working on for maybe 3 years now or so. It's a story about a little cat that's kind of based in my growing up and on the prairie in Kansas. And it's about a storm, and I won't give away the ending, but it's been really fun to work on. So it's just going out to publishers actually this weekend or on Monday. So
oh my gosh, amazing!
I'm pretty excited about that. So it's a long process, but really fun.
I'm really curious about that process. I don't write. I'm not in the publishing world. I do write, but I'm not in that world. And
yeah,
so can you tell me how, when you say I got an agent, what is that process? What does that look like?
Yeah. The process of getting the agent, or what it's like working with them?
Well, either, whichever one you're more interested in talking about.
Yeah. Well, for a while I wasn't really sure if I wanted an agent. It was kind of something I was going back and forth. I was like, do I want to figure all of this out on my own? I've recently found out, no, I definitely don't want to I don't want to do any of that. I really just want to work on my art. And I mean, that is for me enough work in itself to just dig into that. So that's been really great. Just even finding out that that's something that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I went to a residency about 3 years ago called Milkwood, and it's in Upper New York State, and it's run by Sophie Blackhall. She's an incredible children's writer and illustrator, and she's created this beautiful like barn and surrounding outbuildings that are full of like artist writing spaces and studios, and you come and she like bakes this cake for you and makes a big meal, and everybody has like, you know, a room that they stay in. Every room is a theme. So I think I was in the elephant room. My sister and I went together. So my sister
Oh,
Bethany, she's also an artist, and so during that week long time there were other writers and illustrators, and I met a writer from California, and she had an agent, and she was like, I would really highly recommend my agent, and so I kind of applied to her. She had an opening at the time, and it was just, I honestly can't really remember the process. Anyway, yeah, she took me on board, and it's been really, really interesting. I think so much more information than the world of publishing is, I, it, I think it's going to be really sweet. I've been very overwhelmed with it at
okay.
some points, and then
Yeah.
just really excited that I'm like learning all this new stuff, but just a whole new world that I didn't understand or know about. So that's been just amazing. I already forgot your question. You were asking about.
No, I asked about the process of getting or working with a manager or an agent.
Yeah.
Sorry, not a manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also, just for the sake of the podcast timing, when you say it's going to publishers, is that like it is being published, or is it being like shopped to
No.
publishers?
No, yeah, being shopped out to publishers. So
Okay.
it's called going out on submission. So
Okay.
so my agent is picking like a list of publishers that she thinks would be good for this project, and it's
Okay.
going out to them. It's been a long time of, so like things, you know, I've had to gather a bunch of things, not just only the art, like the whole book
Yep.
dummy. So, you know, this is probably a 48-page book. It's quite long for a book, and including the cover and the back cover and like inner pages, and then like the whole middle of the book. And so it's in a I think actually looks pretty good as a book dummy. Usually book dummy would be like a really rough form, but like
Okay.
I kind of liked taking it a little bit further. So it looks really good from a visual point.
Nice.
And then the manuscript gets overlaid in that, and then, you know, that's a whole thing that, you know, I've just been working through the story and getting everything to like flow and work well. And then there's a whole bunch of supporting documents that go with it, like books that are comparable to your book and how it would fit into the publishing industry, and what's awesome about your story. And like, you know, you have your pitch, like telling people what your story is about and why it's so great. And that's been a pretty
That's amazing.
fun, interesting process that I didn't know anything about. And so
Yeah.
that's a whole new thing for me. I was just gonna say, I don't talk to Lori every day, but it's probably every few weeks we're connecting. Sometimes we meet over Zoom and, you know, catch up on the project. How are things going? She's actually really great at, she almost feels like an editor too. She has a really solid background herself in children's writing, and she's amazing. So I feel so lucky to be working with her.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That sounds
Thanks.
amazing.
Thanks.
And yeah, I was just going to say, as a like independent artist like we are, although now you're ish, we'll say, you don't always have that, or you don't ever have that like industry knowledge, right? I don't think that
Mhm.
sounds like you're
Mhm.
getting, which I
Mhm.
think is,
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by how that weaves with like, okay, here was the creative
Yeah.
concept, here's,
Yeah.
and then if I want it to get out into a market of some sort, there are
Mhm.
structures and things that you have to sort of like consider.
Yeah.
Um, I think
Yeah.
that's so fascinating. I think that's like a really creative, sounds like a creative process in itself to like take the work through that.
Yeah. 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 It really is. And I'm really glad to have kind of chosen this path, because I was like, should I get an agent? Like, I don't know if I want
Yeah.
that, but I just feel like I've already learned so much from her that I never could have figured out on my own.
Yeah.
Um, so even just like funny lingo, I'm like, um, you know, like there's a lot of short form for stuff that
Okay.
she's always writing, and I'll have to like look it up and be like, "Ooh, what does that mean?"
Like, I don't
And
know
then
what
I
you're
can use it in my
talking
next
about.
email when I'm writing her back, like, "Oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. No problem."
Yeah. You're the pro now. So good. Yeah, this reminds me of when we were talking on that panel. I don't know if you remember, but I remember a common thread that you and I shared that was
Mm,
like, we did not consider ourselves really part of the industry per se. We were like, we are
mm,
creatives, we get paid
mm,
for our work, we do work
mhm.
professionally. And in terms, I was talking about the music business and whether or not it mattered to me about the trends that happened there. And I was like, well, I'm
Oh,
not really
yeah.
part of the industry,
Yeah.
so not that much. And I'm wondering if you relate to that idea still of being somebody sort of outside, or if now you're starting to have an inside understanding of
Yeah.
like an industry
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah. Well, I definitely feel like I'm kind of dipping my toe into it.
Hmm.
I think if there was any industry that I would want to be in, it's the children's book industry. It's so far, and not just because it's what I want to do, but I feel like I've already connected with so many people who are just so kind. Like they
Mm,
love what they're doing. It's like a relatively small, industry. So it seems like a lot of people know each other,
cool.
which I just think is really neat. I'm excited to go to conferences in the future. I've been to some before, like years ago. There's a big conference in New York City that I have been to, and I want to go again. And just connect with people who are working in this industry. It's honestly, it's a lot of women.
Yeah.
It's like women heavy for sure. And I think
Nice.
just, a lot of moms and grandmothers. And so there must be some kind of like, all of these women have been reading to their kids or having
Mm,
story time. And somehow that like just continues on because everybody is so passionate and loving what they do. And I love that so much.
yeah.
And I love that I can like bring up a random children's book that I thought I only knew and I can talk about it. It's like so fun. It's like
Yeah.
my always my secret thing that I feel like I'm not secret, but I feel like I'm the only one that knows like all about these
Right.
random books besides my sister. I can talk to her about it, and
Amazing.
but to have other people that know these books and get excited about them, that's fun.
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds really, really great. I'm really
Yeah.
happy for you. You found this community that it's not only the art you want to be making, but like the community feels like a right fit for you. That's really
Yeah.
important. That's
Yeah, it
really
is
special.
very cool. I mean, I wish I could kinda, like, go down the block and see all of these people and, but, with all of this digital new age we're living in, it's pretty great to like, I still have a text thread going from that residency that I did in New York, and,
Yeah.
it's called the Ducks thread because they had ducks at the farm, and we always thought they were hilarious, and so it just, every now and then I'll get little messages. People will, say like, I'm doing this, or I just got my book's coming out and I'm doing a tour, and it's just pretty fun. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, congrats. I
Mhm.
can't wait to follow along with that and see how that unfolds. I'll be
Man,
definitely
I hope
asking you
so.
about the
I haven't
process
even
as
done
it
the
keeps
hard
going.
part. I haven't even like done I've only done like half the book. Like, oh,
I
still have to draw all the pictures here.
Yeah, I think that sounds to me to like part of the creative process that if you want something to go out to like the market, there's
Mhm.
so much more time. Like it takes so long, right, to get a project
So
to that
long.
place. If you're doing
Yeah.
any kind of project, I know a music album is like if you
Yeah.
do it properly
Yeah.
according to what people would say for the market, you're going to take years to do it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and that
Oh, it's
is that
unbelievable.
frustrating or are you excited about that? Is it like, are
Oh
you
my
somebody who
gosh.
has the patience for that or no?
Sometimes I don't have patience at all. Sometimes I mean, this week I had just in general, like I had a hard week with art because I felt like I was envisioning this piece that I wanted to do and I kept working at it and working at it. It was not coming, like
Oh,
just not getting. I was so frustrated. And I felt like I kept like I wanted to work on it, but I couldn't quite get there. And it was like so there's always like something, or it's like, mom, drive me to school, like, oh, I forgot my dance clothes. Like, can you bring them? And or, like there's so much like interwoven stuff from the family, like coming in and out because
mhm.
my studio's here in my home, and I can go and work anytime, but it's also hard to just yeah, I can't it's really hard to just get big blocks of time where I can work and be just completely left alone.
Yeah. Yeah,
But then sometimes you have those big windows and you just get nowhere and nothing happens. And
it's true.
that's not fair.
No, it's really true. It's really true. Yeah, so, I mean, you're speaking the language of this podcast. That's, like, one of the main reasons this podcast exists is my thinking about how moms create,
Yeah.
and some dads, of course, too, but
Yeah.
for now, we're talking about moms because 'cause I'm
Yeah.
interested in the female-centric
Yeah.
community at this moment too.
Yeah. Yeah.
How we create and, like, really logistically how it ends up locking in with what a family does, and
Yeah.
also how the way a family needs your attention pulls your
Mhm.
brain places sometimes you can't. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
what you didn't exactly say this, but sometimes I can't get my head into creative space because I'm in schedule brain or I'm in
Totally.
whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I just it's like
Yeah.
nothing good's coming out of me today because I
I
have to pick up my
know.
kid in an hour.
I know. Yeah. And oh my gosh. It's you know, I I felt like I went through these interesting times in my life. Like before I had kids, I clearly remember probably in my because I had Luca, my first. So as you know, I have 4 kids. So I have
Yeah.
Luca, who is 16. So like uh Rose is 14,
Yeah.
Remy is 12. He's gonna yell from the other room. I'm actually no, he's actually
Yeah.
12, but like I get their ages wrong all the time. And Lila's 8. So before Luca was born, we were living in Vermont and I knew I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a visual artist. So I was working on things and like Sandy was working, he was teaching, and I was home by myself. Didn't have any kids yet. It was just me and my dog. And it was so hard for me to do work. It was almost like I didn't know how to I didn't know how to get to work.
Mhm.
So I just remember I vividly remember just like being so bored and trying to like I want to be an artist, but I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that I actually just needed to like go to my art table and do art and like just keep doing art and doing art and doing art. Like
Mhm.
I couldn't figure that out. It was like such a mystery and I was like, I'm so bored all the time. Like, but I need to do art, but I don't know how to do it. And then the
Yeah.
kids came along and I'm like, I'm never bored again. Like,
Right?
there's
Blessed
always
boredom.
something. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so
Yeah.
so just trying to squeeze in a little like 15 minutes and you're like, I just need 15 minutes and someone's coming in and like talking to you all the time and like
Yeah.
there's just a constant flow of traffic and so you do really need to figure out how to do that and often
Yeah.
I'm putting, I'm listening to music and putting on my headphones and um but I also sometimes can't listen to music at all. Music's actually really distracting for me,
Yeah.
uh, certain music. So I can't listen to new music at all.
Right.
I actually told my brother-in-law, who he'll laugh if he ever listens to this. He's a musician,
Yeah.
songwriter, like he's just been in music his whole life. And one time, a couple years ago, I was like, I hate music, Tim. Like, I hate music. And he was like, what? So he like never lets me forget that. But I don't like it in the sense that I find it really distracting. It's kind of like kids yelling in the background. And so
Right.
the only thing that I can listen to is the same music over and over and over. It's like it gets kind of like it's like I don't have to think about it.
Right.
And so it just kind of makes whatever this white noise. So I do that every now and then. But yes, I do homeschool. And so the kids have been, all 4 of them have been home. Now the oldest 2 are in high school, but the younger 2 are still at home. And even though the other kids are in high school, like you probably know this, it's a lot of like, come pick me up. And like, I forgot
It's
this. And like,
crazy. It's crazy.
just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
is very busy all the time, but my kids definitely don't need me quite as much. I feel like I can go into my studio and my studio
Mhm.
is just off of the kitchen it's like very close to our house is pretty small. As you know, you've been in my house before, but
Yeah.
I actually do have a studio up above the garage and I have used that before, but I found it was almost like I kind of like being I just like knowing where the kids are and what's going
Yeah.
on. That's better, I think, for me than like being separated and being far away. So that has worked for me. It's not easy. Sometimes I definitely feel like I'm pulling out my hair, especially when I have a deadline or something. I'm trying to get something done because it's like amazing. It's like if you only have if suddenly you have a deadline and it has to be done, you will use all of that time up to the last like 2 seconds. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, you can never do anything early. I can never get on the like,
Right.
it's like whatever time I am given, I'm just like, it's completely full all the time.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
never like, "Oh, I'm early. I'm turning in my project early." I try to do that, and it's
Yep.
just it's like the world is just like, "Nope, this is how it's gonna be. You're gonna use
Yeah.
every second that you have."
Yeah. I mean, our kids will take all those seconds too, and bless them.
Yes, yes.
Teenage years have shocked me with how full on they are.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
know, like, it's been a while since I've had a toddler, so I know it's not that. I do
yeah,
know it's not the same as that, but
yeah.
it is intensive. Like, this week
It is.
alone, I think I hit, like, a breaking point. I forgot, like, 4 or 5 different things I had scheduled, and I'm not that person. I'm pretty good at
Yeah.
that, but I
I
think I
know you're not
just,
that
like
person. You're
my
amazing
brain
for
cracked. Like, I ran
yeah,
out. I got nothing. I got nothing left. I don't know where I'm supposed
yeah,
to be.
yeah.
Like, yeah. So their schedules are intense and they want to
Yeah,
be, at least
yeah,
depending on their personality, my daughter wants to be doing something every second of the day. So it's a
yeah,
fight just to tell her to like, no, just
yeah,
be home for a couple hours. Like you
yeah,
just I need to be home for a couple hours,
yeah.
even if you don't.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It is so intense. It's intense in a different way to have teenagers. I've been just really struggling with the like, especially like the late night. Like, you know, Luca will want to be out quite late. And like, I want to be in bed and go to bed at 9 o'clock. And I don't want to be worrying about like where he is out and
Yeah.
about. Like, but I know he's having a great time. And I know it's like, it's what I
Yeah.
did too. I went out and, hung out with
Yeah.
friends late at coffee shops. It wasn't even the coffee shop, oh my gosh, it was like we had like a it's like IHOP basically. It's like
Okay. Yeah. Like a
this
yeah.
horrible, like, pancake diner place. I'm like,
Yeah.
"What? Oh my gosh."
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about poetry. I don't think Luke is talking about poetry right now, but oh my gosh, yeah,
Those
it's
late
just
night
a
poetry parties.
oh my gosh, wish. It's so intense having teens. It
It
is
is.
like it's so emotional in this like whole new way, and it's a whole level of like adult worry that I didn't
Yeah.
anticipate.
Yep.
But
Very true. Very, very
yeah,
hard, very scary and
it
hard.
is. Yeah,
And if they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, we have to like bite our tongues and sit on our hands a lot, right? And be like,
I
okay,
know.
this is what, like you're saying,
Yeah,
he should be out. That's
yeah,
what he's supposed to do. But
yeah,
as a mom, you're like, oh
yeah.
my God, I just
I
like, did you
know.
bring a toque? Are you
Yeah,
okay?
I
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
know. He just
Yeah.
got his driver's license too, and so that's just been like a whole 'nother like, this is good. He's doing these
Yep.
good things. It's good, but it's also just terrifying at the same time, and
Terrifying. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and you're just like, "Just carry on with my art." Like
Right? Well, I mean, I do try to tell myself that I know you have an 8-year-old still, like, you're not in this they're not through the house yet, but I do
Yeah,
try to tell myself that, like, this intense sadness I will feel when they leave, which I really will. I'm
I
like,
know.
"Well, I'll figure out how to create more, though." Like, I'll have that space
Yeah,
or I
yeah,
don't know. I'm trying to tell myself
yeah,
the art will
yeah.
blossom.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I hope so. I'm like, I'm just gonna be just a wreck. I don't know. I,
Oh,
I think it must be all these steps, right? Like how kids there's always like a phase that they're in, like
mhm.
a phase of this or a phase of that. And I kind of feel like that's the same with parenting too. And I think
Yeah.
that's, probably when I get to, my fourth teenager, I'll be like, that was just a phase with Luca and like a phase with
Yes.
me too that you have to just go through this like time of like intense worry. I'm sure I will always worry, but
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
yeah, these
That made
seasons.
me curious too about how do you think those phases of parenting,
Hmm.
if can you look back and see if you talked about your phase before being a mom, do you
Yeah,
think your art shifts as your parenting phase shifts? Like what either the actual like say your visual art shifts or you shift from say okay I was a dancer now I'm
yeah.
home with my kids all the time I'm doing more visual art more
Hmm.
this or that like is
Hmm.
have you noticed
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
kinds of shifts or
I yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I felt like I feel like I'm getting to be a better technical artist the more that I do it. And, I'm bringing and trying to, be better at, just learning new skills, something that I've been doing for the last this is how many years has it been now? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to ask her. I go take a art class, which has been incredible. My mentor, Fiona Krangle, has been incredible. Like she's such an amazing artist and just has helped me so much. But I get to go and be with a group of moms
Nice.
and just like talking about their art. We're making art together and being able to see what other people are doing. And we're talking about family and we're talking about everything that you're going through as a mother, as a grandmother, as a, friend. And all of those little things like influence your art in a way. And I was
Mhm.
just thinking, like, did you ever read For Better For Worse, the comic strip?
Oh, yes, totally.
Yeah. So I've been thinking a lot about that, how she obviously moved through
Mm.
her parenting and her childhood through her art. And, I've been drawing little kids for a long time. And I was just thinking, I was like, I kind of want to draw like this teenager who's like,
Oh,
has headphones on and like all this like stuff around, like being a teenager. And I was
yes.
like, that's me, just like changing it as a mom. Like I'm going
Yep.
into this next phase. And that's suddenly kind of like, I'm thinking, like, I never thought about that before.
Yeah.
10 years ago, like, I just want to draw babies and like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm like, oh, like that is how it's changing. It's kind of like all
Amazing.
your life is affecting your art. And for me, it
Totally.
really does affect my art because a lot of what I do is family based and child based and play
Yeah.
based in my art. And so I can definitely see that changing. Um
Beautiful.
so yeah, yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. It's like such a I think what I love about being an artist, it's so interwoven into everything. If you're writing a song, sometimes these things come to you like if you have a problem, you're trying to figure out this artwork or what you're gonna do. It's like if you just let it percolate and you go out and like live your life for a little bit, it just like fits into place sometimes.
Yeah.
The problem piece will like just magically appear and you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
how I do it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting how like our just regular living influences our art so much all the time. It's
Totally.
not just like, I mean, it is going to the art table and like doing your art, like doing it
Yeah.
physically, doing it. Just that like you're living with your family. You're like driving around in town is like, yeah, that's how I do that.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to me.
It's interesting to me too. That's why we're talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
loved this, Katie. I don't want to take too much of your time.
No, you're not.
And so
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap it there, but I also think that was a beautiful place to finish this conversation about being an artist, being a mother, and how it
Yeah.
interlocks in our lives, and how it's like
Yeah.
for I would bet anybody who's a mother, it's inextricable. Like you can't pull those two things apart. Or at
Yeah.
least that's definitely my
Yeah.
experience and what you
Yeah.
just expressed.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that, and
Yeah,
I just want to let
absolutely.
everybody know they can find your art on Instagram, Katie Flindall Art, and you have a website, moonhouseart.com. I'll be putting
Mhm.
those links in the show notes, which is a fun new thing I'm learning how to do. So if you don't know spelling, they'll be in there. And with your Instagram, people, you do a beautiful job with your Instagram. So if you just even want to
Thanks.
just be sort of entertained and inspired, I would suggest go check it out because it's beautiful. And then also we'll be able to know when the book is published and when we can get that.
So fun to do this, and I feel like I could just, like, talk for another 2 hours, because it's so fun talking to other mother artists, and
It,
it's just my favorite thing to do. I love it so much. Shannon, thank you so much. I think this is such a great idea, such a fun project, and, I'm excited to share. I'm assuming that you're gonna have some kind of link or something too that I
oh
could
yeah,
share at some point. Yeah,
I'll give you all the goods. I'll give you all
all
the
the
goods
good.
to share for sure. All right.
Amazing.
Okay. Thanks, Katie. Talk
Okay,
to you again
thanks,
soon.
Shannon.